We hear about the campaign for a memorial for the men from the Caribbean who served in the RAF. Let's talk about the Second World War. Thousands of men and women from the Caribbean came to serve in the Royal Air Force. They trained at RAF Hunmanby in Yorkshire.
Many returned after the war to settle in Britain, but there's no public memorial to reflect their contribution. Campaigners who'd like to create one have been told it wouldn't be inclusive. Abby Jayola reports.
The efforts of the brave men and women who served in the Royal Air Force during the Second World War are well known, but there's some parts of the story that are perhaps less familiar. Glenn Parsons wants to highlight the contribution of thousands who came from the Caribbean to train with the RAF here in Filey.
The Nazi peril was only 26 miles away across the English Channel, and the Americans were still 18 months before they came into the war. So the call went out, and it went out to the small islands of the Caribbean, and farmers, fishermen and women answered that call and came here. And I feel very strongly, as do many other people in the black community, that that sacrifice to help this country has never properly been reflected.
Two of Glenn's uncles travelled from Jamaica and were trained at RAF Hunmanby. After the war, they returned to settle in the UK and raise their families.
They were both young men at the time. My uncles, Gilmore Westcar and Edwin Samuels, both came here from Jamaica. They were both very young men, perhaps in search of adventure. They answered the call and were proud to do so. They helped as ground staff up here, and they wanted to give service to the motherland.
The Caribbean contribution to the war effort formed part of an exhibition in 2019 which celebrated the community's history. It was hosted by Leeds Jamaica Society, and today they're backing Glenn's campaign.
It would be good to have a memorial that, you know, we could visit and we could say, yes, that is in recognition of our men and some women as well. We need to pass that history on to our young people.
The Memorial Gardens in Filey pay tribute to those who served in both World Wars. This is where Glenn would like to see something to commemorate the Caribbean contingent who trained close by. He presented his case to Filey Town Council, but they say a specific memorial wouldn't be inclusive.
What we have been told is that while they will agree to a plaque, it can only say the Allies and recognise the Allies. And of course, it is important to recognise the contribution that were made by other countries. But the Allies doesn't really reflect this particular group of people from the Caribbean, because of course they came here not as conscripts, they came here as volunteers.
Filey Town Council says it'll consider this again in November. Campaigners hope it will finally agree to honour the memory of those who answered a call to protect the motherland in her hour of need.
It's just fascinating what other people did for this country, isn't it? Yeah.